What in your life is draining your resources right now? What or who is taking energy but not giving anything back to you? I ask myself this question every fall, and this year the answer hit a little bit different. So I grabbed my journal and I want to share my entire framework on how to prepare for your next chapter when you're feeling stuck, you're feeling drained, or you just kind of feel like you're going through the motions and you're ready for a shift. About a year ago, I started learning more about ancient traditions, and a huge theme is thinking about life in seasons. I want to talk with you through it today because I think a lot of us are in the season right now, and the fall's the perfect time to do it. When I say that, I literally mean organizing our life rhythm in sync with nature. We've lost touch with so many of these ancient practices as modern inventions have made us less dependent on the natural elements. But there's so much rich history around seasonal practices in many ancient traditions. I believe there's still so much value to be gained from practicing seasonal rhythms, even while we have access to these modern conveniences. In the winter, we rest, we recover. In springtime, we brainstorm new ideas and explore different ways of doing things. In the summer, we're living it out and we're blossoming. And right now, we're in the middle of fall. Fall is the prune and take inventory season. Nature is evaluating its own resources right now. The trees are looking at its leaves and saying, oh, I'm not going to have resources to nourish you through the winter. So we need to let go of this connection we've had for now so that I can rest and preserve through the winter. In the spirit of fall, this is a great time to evaluate what's not working, what's taking up space, and what needs to be cut back so that when winter comes, you're able to rest and seek wisdom, and you'll have the energy and resources to start the new things that will begin to emerge in the spring. You're actually ready to take action when you follow this seasonal pattern of doing things. Before the joy and excitement can bubble up in the springtime, we need space for rest and renewal. And if you've been feeling a little burnout, a little bit crispy, maybe you need a season of rest before joy can naturally come out on its own. So this video is a practical walkthrough of the reflection work that will help you do your life audit. How to actually take inventory so you can move forward with intentionality. Okay, so the first thing I did was ask myself, what are my 3 main areas of focus right now? Not 10 things, not every area of your life. If we want to be successful, we need to be focused. And I found that 3 things is the max I can do at one time and still make sustainable progress. For me, it looked like this. Focus number 1 is business and YouTube. It's my work, creating content, and my business name, Living on Purpose. Number 2 is fitness. I still have some baby weight. I want to lose a few pounds, but I also just want to feel comfortable in my clothes. I want more energy, all the stuff that comes with eating and exercising and having a rhythm for that. Number 3 is focus and presence. I want to be present, I want to be regulated, and I want to be aligned in my daily life. Now, your goals might be completely different. Maybe it's relationships or finances or health or spirituality or career development. Whatever that is for you, I'm just going to ask you to limit it to 3 because I want you to be able to succeed through it. And if you try to focus on everything, there's a high likelihood you won't be able to keep up with all of those goals. So if you're doing this exercise with me, I'd like you to pause the video now and write down those 3 areas of your life. Do you have them? Great. Now this is where the work begins. Now that you have your 3 areas, I want you to go through each one and ask yourself, what gets in the way of these things happening? You don't even need to be that specific about the goals themselves at this point. You just need to picture what it would feel like to have the thing you want. So, one at a time, I want you to imagine what each improvement would look like, what it feels like, and play out your day in your head in the successful scenario. And be brutally honest. What are the actual obstacles when you play this out in your day? What gets in the way? I'm going to show you how I did this exercise so that you have a practical example. Okay, so these are my business obstacles. My current job. I work for an organization in my day job, and I'm just going to be honest, I get frustrated that it takes me away from doing what I'm really passionate about. Another one is feeling guilty or embarrassed that I spend so much time on this YouTube project that's not making me any money yet. The next one is practical life balances. I haven't been doing it that long, so I haven't quite figured out the balance of taking care of a house and exercising and working and being a good mom and investing in relationships. And how does all of this fit into my life together? I'm still finding my rhythm. The big question underneath all of these different things is, what value do I really have to offer? And I circled this one. That's the belief underneath everything else. I know I'm excited about this. I know that I love doing it. I know I can help people. But the question is, how do I tell folks in a sentence what I can offer them? So, my next goal is fitness. I'd like to lose 20 pounds. The things that are getting in the way are not prioritizing myself. This one's really interesting. When I looked into it, it's the feeling that I need to keep pushing in my business. So when I have this pressure inside of me that keeps pushing, 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 then the things that give me life, that I'm excited about, the things that feel like enjoyment, that feel like they're not work, it feels like I'm wasting my time if I do those things. And so I'm just really identifying this idea of the pushing feeling is getting in the way of me completing and doing my exercise routines. The next one is coming into the same thing. Feeling desperate for a different life circumstance is driving the pushing feeling. Rejecting my current circumstance is a theme that's keeping me from being with myself now. I'm so busy rejecting where I am that I'm not taking ownership of my current circumstance. And that's something I need to do in order to move forward. If I want to lose 20 pounds, I need to accept and embrace my current circumstance as it is, not shame myself, not resist it. Be here with me right now. Okay, so this is my last goal, is to be present and regulated and aligned and self-connected. So what gets in the way of that? Overwhelmed by thinking about all the things I'm not doing enough of. This theme again of resisting the life I have now, my house, my job, my body, living in a state of dissatisfaction. Looking for significance in things that don't actually belong to me. So there's actually a common theme for me inside of all of my goals. I'm trying to get to a different circumstance through resisting my current one. And I know that this is a recipe for staying stuck. And if you're still watching this video, I'm wondering if this is true for you too. Whatever your goal is, the thing getting in your way usually isn't the logistics. It's some type of resistance. It's some story you're telling yourself about why you can't or shouldn't or aren't enough. So write that down. Get honest about what's really in the way. So coming back to the pattern, the common belief keeping me away from where I want to be is I need to reject the life in front of me in order to make space for the life I want. That has been my operating system. And you know what? It's kept me stuck. Because when you're consistently in rejection mode, rejecting your body, rejecting your circumstances, rejecting your current business or your relationships, then your nervous system set point becomes an atmosphere of rejection. It's like trying to plant seeds in a soil that is filled with poison. It won't grow any fruit. So I wrote this down. For me, the biggest constraint of my life is the belief that I need to reject what is in front of me in order to make space for the life I want. This makes a lot of sense for me because I often used to use distraction and daydreaming as a coping tool when I was growing up. So my question to you is, what is your common belief? What's the common thread among all of your obstacles? Take a minute to explore this one because it really matters. Okay, so now that we know what's in the way, we know the belief, so now what? This is where I developed what I'm calling the P3R Framework, and I'm going to walk you through it right now. The P3R Framework has 4 parts. The first one is prevention. It is a practice that primes me to be in the desired nervous system set point. So remember how I talked about the nervous system set point, and it's kind of like soil. So this practice is like adding compost to your soil, so your seeds have access to lots of nutrients to grow. For me, this is about defining what my desired life actually looks like. I know I want to be present, but what does that feel like in my body? What does my day look like in actual practice? So I journaled it out. In the desired place of embracing the present and loving where I'm at, this is what it feels like in my body. I'm going to name the sensations and I'm going to imagine different aspects of my life. And I'll walk you through some examples right now. When I show up as a patient mother, I feel warmth in my chest. I feel a profound sense of connection to myself and to my family. What does it feel like to have a clean house? It feels like clarity, like openness. What's it feel like to show up to my work with a good attitude? Once again, it feels like openness in my chest. It feels like resolution. What does it feel like to keep showing up and doing the work to continue my business? It feels like forward movement. It feels like getting excited. It feels like I'm running as fast as I can and I'm excited to beat my personal best. What does eating and exercising consistently feel like in my body? It feels lean, it feels strong, it feels like a good attitude, and it feels like having access to more energy. So I'd like you to pause this video now and take the time to walk through your own sensations for the different areas of your goals in your life. If you need help with those sensations, I do have a video on the STEW method explaining how to recognize body sensations, and I will link it below. Now I'd like to walk through what do I think like? What types of thoughts am I having in each of these areas when I'm doing them well? When I show up as a patient mother, I think to myself, oh gosh, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky to spend time with you, to watch you grow, to have a relationship with you, to know you. Oh gosh, I am so lucky. What thoughts am I having when I have a clean house? I'm thinking to myself, ooh, I love my space. And when I love my space loves me back. It feels like clarity. I love making my space more beautiful, and my space rewards me for investing in it. What are my thoughts like when I show up to work with a good attitude? My thoughts are, this is what having integrity feels like. Okay, now what are my thoughts when I continue to do the progress towards my business? My thoughts are just be consistent, keep showing up, it will work, keep doing it, you're doing it. Thoughts when I'm exercising and fueling my body properly. I can do anything. I have the energy to do anything. I'm so glad I made these choices for myself, and I'm so thankful to be here. Next, I'm going to move on to emotions for each of these areas as well. What are my emotions when I show up as a patient mother? I think I just have a huge sense of connection and love and joy. What does it feel like to have a clean house? The emotion I have is appreciation. What emotion do I have when I show up to work with a good attitude? I'm proud of myself. What emotion do I have when I continue to make progress in my business? I have excitement, I feel like growth, and it feels like confidence. It feels like everything's coming together and I'm doing exactly what I'm made to be doing. What are the emotions I experience when I'm exercising and fueling my body properly? I feel lighthearted, I feel bubbly, I feel energy. I feel like things don't need to be so serious all the time, and I have a sense of hope that things will work out. Okay, and then my last piece here is we're going to create a 10 to 15 minute visualization based on all of this information. And it'll look like walking through a day in the life and integrating all of these sensations and the thoughts and the emotions that are all creating the day that you want to live. So the prevention practice is a daily visualization of the desired day in a life. Here's the second step to the P3R method, recognition. So recognition is, how do I know when I'm operating outside of the desired headspace? How do I know I'm in resistance? So this is your early warning system. For me, it's when did I come out of the headspace? What triggered me to move out of the headspace? What are the sensations, thoughts, emotions of the headspace? And I want to share with you the actual experience I wrote down. So I practiced my visualization, and then at some point through the day, I came out of my desired headspace. I came out of the headspace when the baby cried before I was finished journaling. The sensations I felt were hurrying, a tense gut, a scrunched face, feeling like, oh, I need to finish, I need to be done, I need to be done. The thoughts that I had is, oh, my me time is so limited. Everything takes from me. It's lack. It just feels like there's not enough to go around. The emotions I had when this happened were feeling restricted and feeling really sad, feeling kind of desperate and emotional, and feeling like a winding feeling. So now I see this is my recognition signal. When I feel that way, I've left my desired headspace. And the goal is to recognize as often as possible when you are leaving the desired headspace that you created through your visualization. The third piece is regulation. What will help me reconcile the resistance? This is your toolkit. It's going to be things like IFS, internal family systems. It might be meditation. It might be internal conflict work. It might be addressing a belief, mindset work, inner child work, somatic work, meditation. Whatever modality helps you work through your resistance and helps you regulate. For me, in this specific instance, the issue was frustration that I can't do what matters and be a good mom at the same time. My regulation practice will always directly address the trigger that took me out of the headspace. Which brings us to our fourth step, rewire. What is one aligned action I can take moving forward? This is where it all comes together. One practice, one habit. So the practice I came up with is 2 times per day. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And during those 5 minutes, my goal is to be present together with my son. No agenda, no to-do list, and this is what I say to myself. I can have you and have me too at the same time. Because that's what I need to rewire my brain. The belief I need to choose away from is the belief that I'm abandoning myself when I am with my son or on my business or doing anything for that matter. The truth is, I can have both. I can have my son and I can be with me too. I can do work and I can be with me too. I can exercise and I can be with me too. I can clean the house and I can be with me too. That is the root of my self-sabotage, is the belief that if I am productive, then I abandon myself. And so I need to retrain my brain that I can be with me while I am being productive. So that's the framework. Prevention, prime yourself for the desired state. Recognition, know where you left it. Regulation, tools to reconcile resistance. And rewire, one aligned action you can take. So your prevention practice will remain consistent over time until you're reaching that desired goal. But your recognition, your regulation, and your rewire practices will change as you work through different types of resistance that come up. So I want to touch on something really important here. This whole framework is body-based. We're not just setting goals from the neck up. The majority of coaches do goal setting only with your thoughts. If you've tried the traditional approach many times and you always find yourself falling short of your goals, that's a sign that maybe a different way would work for you. We're not just making lists and using willpower to carry us through. We're working with your body. We're using your goals and desires as a roadmap to inner healing on your way to becoming who you really are. We're defining goals through how you want to feel, the sensations you want in your body, what emotional state you want to live from. This is the golden framework I use to work with all of my coaching clients. If this is something that you want help with, I invite you to take a look at my coaching packages on my website. The link is below. But if your nervous system is dysregulated, if you're operating from a place of resistance and shame and lack, then nothing truly changes. So when you do this work, really spend time on the prevention piece. Create the visualization. Describe your desired day in detail. I want you to make it so real for your body first that when you practice the way you want to feel, the actions just flow out of you naturally. Okay, so as we wrap up, I just want to recap this whole thing for you. Number 1 is identify the 3 main areas of focus. These are the 3 areas you want to grow. Number 2 is name what gets in the way, the real obstacles, not just the stuff on the surface. Number 3 is find your common belief. You're addressing the self-sabotage that keeps you from your goals. Number 4 is apply the P3R Framework. Prevention, how to prime yourself. Recognition, how to catch yourself. Regulation, how to address resistance. And rewire, one aligned action you can take. This fall life audit work, this is how you prepare for your next season. And I'm going to do this right alongside you. I'm in the prune and take inventory season right there with you. I'm looking at what needs to go, what needs attention, what needs to change. Because before joy can start to come out on its own, we need this season of cleaning so we can do rest and reflection. And here's what I know. You're not stuck forever. This is just a season, and seasons change. But they change a lot more intentionally when we do this kind of prep work. So if you do this work, I would genuinely love to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me what's your common belief, what came up for you, and let me know where you get stuck. Because we're doing this together. It's not just me teaching you something. This is me sharing with you what I'm actively doing and working through and living it out and what has worked for me in my life. I think that's how real change happens, in community with honesty and connection and vulnerability. All right, if this was helpful, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you want more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. You are doing great.